Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first week of 52 weeks free classes on web development. My name is Juan Paulson, and on behalf of the Global Genius, I bring this program to you. Now, this is going to be an exciting journey. Just fasten your seatbelt. I tell you, I promise you this. It's going to be an exciting journey. But this first class is going to be more of theory. We'll be telling more of stories, all right? Because for me, I don't like teaching without giving people the right foundation. Now, most of the things we'll be talking about here are things that could be confusing when we get on with other things. So now I want you to relax. I want you to sit back and relax. Let us tell stories. Let us enjoy the stories we are going to be telling, okay? We are not going to be writing code today, no, but we are just going to be making you understand some certain things, okay? All right, so let's dive into it. So, why should you learn web development? Why should you even take a look at this? Why should you be interested in learning this? Why should you learn web development? Now, the thing is this, if you Google it, you will see that there are web development has high-paying jobs available. The thing is that some people will be like, the field is saturated. There are no jobs. The only reason why people are saying that is because they don't know it. They don't know what they are doing. If you're not good, you're not good. If you know Sabi, you know Sabi. And nobody's going to employ you, say you know Sabi. Most of you guys, most people are carrying certificates around. It's not by certificate, it's by Sabi, it's by Sabificate. And how you can use Sabi, how you fit take Sabi, it is by knowing all these things and practicing. Say, you don't have to be lazy over here. You have to work hard. And I promise you, there are jobs everywhere. There are jobs everywhere. I have worked in some voluntary jobs in New York and California. It was a remote job. But basically, for me, I am not much interested I'm not a job person. I'm not an employee person. I like creating my own business. And by the grace of God, I am the developer and I'm the founder of the Global Genius. All right. The Global Genius is an online a learning platform that has over 150 students. So I like entrepreneurship. So I learned these skills so that I can build web applications that people can use and I can make money from it and use it for business. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship, using software development for entrepreneurship, that's fine. If you're also interested in getting jobs, no problem. All right. But the thing is that you don't have to be half-baked. You have to be very, very good at what you do. And I promise you, if you follow me for the next 12 months, if you allow me to guide and mentor you for the next 12 months, at least you're going to become a front-end developer. I am that type of person that preaches, don't be too much in a hurry. Take your time and learn and master. Some people want to go to full stack right away. No, take it small, small. Learn front-end development, learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript very, very well. React, Nest.js, Git, version control system, and GitHub. All right. Master these things. Learn them very, very well. Create projects, build projects. Build a very good, attractive portfolio, and you'll get a job as a front-end developer. So follow me for the next 12 months. Every day you have to do something. You have to read books, you have to work, you have to learn, you have to take some tutorials, you have to read, you have to practice. Do it for the next 12 months. I guarantee you that there will be a job waiting for you as a front-end developer. Okay? So follow me for the next 52 weeks. Follow me for the next 52 weeks. All right? So now I want you to go to the comment section and type in your why do you want to learn web development? Go to the comment section and type it. Why do you want to learn web development? Why are you interested in taking this course? I also want you to type in what is your motivation. Comment your motivation in the comment section. What is driving you? Why do you want to learn this? Why are you here? All right. Type in your motivation. Okay. All right. So there are freelancing opportunities. If you're very good at this, there are freelancing opportunities. There are remote jobs available. You can build your own applications. I have built my own application. The Global Genius is my own application that I have built. All right. And by the grace of God, I'm using it to fetch money. Do you understand? So it's fetching me money, and in the next 5 years, it's going to grow bigger. So if you learn web development, you can build your own apps, you can create your own personal projects. All right. So now you cannot, it's very easy to start your tech career with web development. It is the easiest way to start your career because in the next 6 to 12 months, you can be very good at it and you can get a job. So it is the easiest way to get into tech. Okay. All right. So what exactly is the web? Let's go into it now. We are talking about web development. We are talking about building applications for the web. But what is the web? All right. What is web? What is the web? Now, the web, also called the World Wide Web, is a giant collection of web pages you can visit using an internet connection. Look at the definition here. It is a giant collection of web pages. So what does it mean? The web is just a collection, a library of web pages. So if you want to build web applications, the simplest web application is a web page because the web is a collection of web pages. So in the next class, next weekend, next week, we'll be talking about how to start to build your first web page. Do you understand? So you can only visit this web page using an internet connection. If you're not connected to the internet, you cannot visit these web pages. So you need an internet connection. If you don't have data in your phone or in your Wi-Fi or in your MiFi, all right, you cannot get connected to the internet and then you cannot visit these web pages. You cannot visit Facebook, Instagram, Google. You cannot visit all these places. So the web is a giant collection of web pages. They are linked together. These are millions, billions, trillions of web pages that are connected to each other. You can connect from one page to another page, okay? Don't worry, these are the things you're going to be learning in these 52 weeks, okay? So think of the web like a huge digital library filled with websites such as Google. So it is a huge digital library filled with websites such as Google, Facebook, YouTube, Wikipedia, Twitter, Instagram, online shops, learning platforms like the Global Genius. All right. So these are web pages. These are websites that are connected to each other. From Google, you can go to Facebook. From Facebook, you can go to YouTube, to Wikipedia. They are all connected and you're going to see how it is very simple. Now, I always tell people, okay, tech, computer programming, software development, it is very, very simple. It is not hard. All you have to do is to understand the concepts, understand what is going on. And if you allow me coach you, if you allow me mentor you, all right, if you allow me mentor you, you're going to understand these things. Trust me, okay? So I want you to go to the comment section and type in, please mentor me. I want you to go to the comment section and type in, please mentor me. Okay. All right. So all these sites live on the web. All these sites live on the web. All these sites live on the web. They are all in the web. Okay. So what is the difference between the internet and the web? All right. What is the difference between the internet and the web? The difference is very simple. Okay. Most people confuse the internet with the web. Okay. Most people confuse the internet with the web. So let us have a simple explanation. The internet is a network of computers connected together around the world. All right. Internet is a network of computers connected around the world. They are connected together. Your phone, whenever your phone has internet, it could be connected. Your phone could be connected to other people's phones on the internet. So internet is a connection, is a network of computers that are connected together around the world. So if you want your phone or your device or your computer to be connected around the world, you need to have an internet connection. And once your device is connected, it has an internet connection. It is connected around the world. Anybody around the world can connect to your phone. So the internet is like roads, cables, wires, and towers that connect devices. Let's say now a country like Nigeria. All right, they have roads that lead to different states. A state has connections to other states. A city in a state has connection to other cities. So you can go from one state or one city to another state. So this is the connection. This is how devices, computers are connected over the internet. So without the internet, your phone or your laptop or your computer cannot be connected to other computers in the world. Okay. So the web is a service that runs on top of the internet. Without the internet, the web cannot exist. Without the internet, the web cannot exist. So the web is just a service that runs on top of the internet. It contains websites, pages, links, videos, images. So when you go to Facebook, when you go to Instagram or TikTok, all right, you're connecting, all right, you're connecting to the server. You're connecting to other devices on the internet. Okay, so the TikTok or the Facebook that you're using, all right, it is the web that is providing the service that makes it possible for you to connect to TikTok, because the TikTok app, the web application of the TikTok is on the web. Do you understand? So it is on the web, and your phone can connect to the computer that is serving the TikTok. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Let me not confuse you with much things. So we get to what we mean by server and client and all those things. Okay. All right. The web is like apps on your phone. The internet is the electricity and signal that allows them to work. All right. You have some apps on your phone. So without the internet or electricity, all right, signals, they cannot work. So without the internet, the web cannot work. The internet is just a network of, you know what a network is now? It's a network of computers connected together around the world. All right. So the web is a service that runs on top of the internet. So what is a website? What is a website? A website is a collection of related pages. Now, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. These are all websites. They are collections of related web pages. So I'm going from like I said, from next week, all right, from our next class, you're going to learn how to build a web page. So when you build a web page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, all right, they become a website. If I have 1 to 2 pages, it becomes, in short, a web page can even be a website. Do you understand? All right. So a website is a collection of related web pages. So a page, we are going to understand what a page is later on. So it's a collection. A website is a collection of web pages. When you go to Facebook, you first of all go to the home page. The home page can take you to the sign up page, to the sign in page, to feed page, to post page, to advert page. So these are all pages of Facebook that are related to each other, and they make up the Facebook website. Okay. So example is facebook.com, google.com. These are websites, and all these websites contain web pages. When you go to YouTube, all right, the first place you go when you say youtube.com is take you to the homepage of YouTube, which is youtube.com. If you start clicking, you will not be seeing forward slashes. You'll be seeing forward slashes. So those forward slashes are like the web pages that you're connecting to. Don't worry, you're going to understand all these things as we go on, okay? So these websites can contain text, images, videos, forms. All right. And they can also contain buttons, links, animations, apps, etc. So a website is a collection of related web pages. And we are going to be building your first web page in the next class. Okay. So what is a web page? A website is a collection of related web pages. Then what is a web page? A web page is a single page on the web, like a book page. Now, let me break it down. A book is a collection of pages, right? All right. So that book is the website. The pages are the web pages. Do you understand? So a collection of pages is either a book or a website. All right. So example is Facebook login page is a page. It is part of the Facebook website. It is a web page, but it is part of the Facebook website. A YouTube video page is a page that is part of the YouTube page. Do you understand? So a Google search result page, all right? So now what is a URL? So now let me make this more practical. Let me open my browser. Let me show you what this website and pages I've been talking about. This class might be long, so just be. So now, if I go to YouTube, all right, if I go to YouTube, now this is the website. This is the YouTube website, okay? This is the YouTube website, okay? Now, if I click on history, this is the home page. If I click on history, you can see now that we have /feed/history. I believe you can see it on the URL. This is the home page. This feed here is another page. The history is another page. All right. So if I remove this history and hit enter on this feed, you will see we will just have it will take us to the feed page. You can see it's bringing us somewhere. All right. But this seems to be empty. Then if I go on and do / and do history, okay, it will take us to all my history, all the videos I have watched so far. Okay. Yeah, right. So this is the history. Okay. Now, if I go to my playlist, it will take me to another page. You see, it will take me to another page, another web page. All right. It will take me to another web page. If I go to my downloads, it will take me to another page. Look at it. Look at the URL is changing. So the URL is changing. So what is the URL? Now, before I leave here, these are the web pages. This download is a web page. All right, look at it. This download is a web page. All right. The history is a web page. All right. The history is a web page. So this YouTube website is a collection of the history web page, the download web page, the playlist web page. Okay. So now what is a URL? Now this thing we have here is a URL. Uniform Resource Locator. This is a URL. So what is a URL? Okay, let me go back to my slide. What is a URL? A URL is what we call the Uniform Resource Locator. Every web page, every web page, every resource on the internet, every resource on the web has a unique address. Every resource on the internet, every video, every picture, everything at all, every web page, everything on the internet, they all have their addresses. They have their addresses that you can use to locate them. So these things are called resources. The web page is a resource, the video, the image, the pictures, these things are called resources. So Uniform Resource Locator is the unique address of a resource. So the unique address of YouTube, the unique address of YouTube is this one. That's the one I'm highlighting here. Now, this is the home page. Now, the feed is another resource, all right? And the unique address is from here. While the history is another resource that the unique address is here. So this is the URL. The URL, the address of a resource, anything that you're accessing on the web is a resource. All right. Whether no matter how it is, no matter the type of data, it is a resource. So right now, Uniform Resource Locator, which is the URL, all right, is the unique address. It is the unique address of a web page or a picture, an image, a video, whatever, an audio. So these are called resources. Don't worry, you get to learn more about this. Okay, so this is the unique address of a web page. If I go back to YouTube, you see that this is a unique address of the history. Here I am on on the history page now. This is the unique address of the history. It is the unique address. I can copy this URL and send it to you right now, and you can paste it on your browser and it will take you here. This is the unique address of this resource. Okay. So examples are like google.com, facebook.com / login. So these are resources. These are unique pages, unique address of different pages. Okay. Just like home addresses help people find your house. I cannot come to your house if I don't know your home address. URLs also help browsers find web pages. So without the URLs, the browsers cannot find web pages. All right. If you're following, I want you to type in the comment section. I want you to type in the comment section that you're following. And again, if you're watching this video on Facebook, I want you to tag all your friends. Tag your friends, share this, share it, let them know that yes, this is happening. All right. Let them know that they can take some classes for free of charge, for 52 weeks for free of charge. And I can only be motivated if I have plenty people viewing these things. Okay. So you're not paying me to do this class and I'm doing this anyways. But I'll be motivated if I wake up tomorrow and I see that, oh, this has plenty views, comments, encouraging comments, motivating comments, inspiring comments that can motivate me to do the next week. So I want you to share this. Share it on your Facebook, share it on all your social media, copy the link, share it with all your friends. Comment, like, okay, and let's continue. All right. So now, what are IP addresses? Okay. Every device on the internet has a unique number called an IP address. So whenever you're connected to the internet, all right, your device, the internet will give your device a unique address. So if you connect your phone now, if you're watching this video with your phone or your laptop, all right, the internet has given your laptop or your phone a unique IP address. So that unique number is your address. So everything on the internet has to have an address. They have to be uniquely identified. They have to be uniquely identified. They have to unique. You have to. The internet has to identify devices uniquely. So once you are connected to the internet, your device will be given a unique number called the IP address. So this is what the IP address looks like: 192.168.1.1. This is what the address looks like. All right. So look at it. This YouTube now has an IP address. This YouTube now has an IP address. But the thing is that, okay, if I copy this, okay, let me do something. Let me show you something. Let me explain this. If I copy this youtube.com and go to my, I can use ChatGPT or where's my google.com? Okay, so I can just say, what is the IP address of, sorry, of this? Let's see what it gives us. Okay. Okay, so it says these are the most common IP address for YouTube. So you can see this is, look at what we have here. Okay. Okay, so the IP address for YouTube is this. All right. So you can see they are in numbers. So this is the IP address. Every device, okay? This IP address we are talking about now is the server where the YouTube application is hosted, the computer that is hosting the YouTube application. All right. So now every device has a unique number. All right. So if you want to connect to youtube.com, you first of all connect to the computer that is hosting the YouTube application. So this IP address we are talking about now is the IP address of the computer that is hosting the YouTube application. Now, we cannot cram this number. Imagine I give you 192.168. No, we cannot cram it. So because we cannot cram IP address and they are hard to remember, that is why domain names now came up. So domain names convert these numbers into words so that human beings can remember them easily. So IP address are numbers that are used to uniquely identify computers on the internet. So if you want to get to any computer and access the applications that they are hosting, you need to get to the computer first. So IP addresses are very difficult to remember. That is why domain name system came on board. So what is a domain name? A domain name is the name of a website. It is just a name of an IP address. Every IP address, a domain name has an IP address. So a domain name is just a syntactic sugar on top of the IP address that are in numbers. Remember, IP addresses are very difficult to remember, but domain name system came on board and gave every IP address has a domain name that is easier to remember. Google.com has an IP address. So Google.com is just the domain name. The domain name is just a wrapper on top of the IP address. Remember, IP address are in numbers that are hard to remember. But Google.com is easy to remember. Yahoo.com is easy to remember. Okay? So it is easy to remember than numbers. So domain names are syntactic sugars on top of IP addresses that are in numbers. So I mentioned about web server. All right. I was talking about um, the computer that is serving, all right, the YouTube application. So a web server is a computer, is a special computer that stores websites and sends them to users when they request it. So web servers are the special computers that make it possible for us to access websites. This YouTube website that we are accessing, it is stored somewhere in a special computer. Your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, they are applications that are stored somewhere. They are applications that are stored somewhere. Okay. So web server is a special computer that stores websites and sends them to users when they request it. When you visit youtube.com, a server sends the page to your browser. So you use your browser and you enter the URL of youtube.com. Once you enter it, the browser will make a request. The browser will take the domain name and then send it to the domain name system. The domain name system will now get the IP address. Then they will now send the request to the server, the computer that has that IP address. The computer will check, oh, do I have this application that this person is requesting? If it has it, is to say yes, and it will return the website to you. If it doesn't have it, that is where you now say 404, page not found, all those kind of things. Okay, so let's take a look at the building blocks of the web. The three main technologies used to build websites are HTML. It creates the structure of a web page like the skeleton is like the skeleton of your body. The HTML creates the skeleton of a web page. So if you want to create the structure of a web page, you use HTML. These are the things we'll be learning. We'll also be learning CSS, which is used to design. CSS is like you painting the house. All right. HTML is the building, is the structure of the building. Next, CSS is you designing, painting. All right. Painting the house for it to look good. Adding colors, fonts, layout. Like it is like clothes or makeup. Do you understand? So when a woman wears clothes and makeup, they look more beautiful. All right. So the makeup or the clothes is just covering the skeleton of their body. Okay. JavaScript is used for interaction. It makes the website to be very interactive. All right. So it's like your brain and your muscles. All right. So HTML is like the skeleton of your body to the web page. It has the structure of the web page. CSS is like your clothes and your makeup. And then the JavaScript is like the brain and the muscles of the websites. So let's take a look at types of websites. We have static websites. They are very simple. They only contain more of text and images. Not no more. It's not interactive at all. So you can just build a web page that is not interactive, just for information. People can go there to get information like blogs, information websites. Okay. We also have dynamic websites like Facebook, Google, YouTube. You can do certain things. Data changes automatically. It is more interactive. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. These are two different types of websites. And what we are going to teach you is how to build dynamic websites. So that means you'll be learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Most especially, JavaScript is what makes your website to be more interactive. So what is hosting? Now, when you build your website, you need to make it available for people to see. All right, the Global Genius, which is our website, is available for students to use. I'll be mentioning the Global Genius. Let me show you, let me give you a glimpse of this Global Genius. So this is our website, our platform where people come to learn. Okay, so I can go on to sign in now. I can go on to sign in. So this is for students who pay for courses. And here, if you pay for courses, we give you more attention, more, you get personal coaching. All these things I'm teaching, I'm actually rushing all these things. We take time to explain them to you. So if I click on go to my dashboard now, it brings me to my dashboard. I can click on browse for courses. Okay. By the way, I'm the developer of this platform. Okay. So if I can develop a platform like this, that means I can teach you. So this is some of the courses we have. Then this is this is 100 days of web development where we teach you HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in more detail. So we take time. They are all broken down. This is how they are structured. So they are structured in 20 chapters. Okay, structured in 20 chapters. We teach you from HTML to JavaScript. All right. And then each look at it. We broke them down into small chunks and we take time to explain them for you to understand. So now this is a web application that is being hosted somewhere. So we have to host it. If I didn't host this website, you cannot have access to it. So if you build your own website, you need to make it accessible. So if you want people to access your website, you need to host it. So hosting is where your website files live. So it's like renting a house on the web. So yes, I pay for every month for this. I pay rent. The global genius we pay rent. Okay. So you host your website on the internet, all right, so that people can have access to it. So the thing is that you're going to be using somebody's computer, somebody's server, so that people, when they go to that server, when you give them your IP address or your domain name, they would actually have access to it. So we have hosting companies like Namecheap, Hostinger, Bluehost, Netlify, Vercel. We'll be teaching you how to host in Vercel. You also have GitHub pages. So these are places you can host your applications. Okay, we also have the AWS, we also have a lot of them. But as beginners, you're going to be learning how to do GitHub pages and Vercel. Okay, so you have to host your website for people to see it. So what is a web app? I tell people there is a difference between a website and a web app. I'm not a website designer. I'm a web application developer. All right. I don't design websites. I don't do website. I create applications, web applications. So just like you have applications on your phones, they live on your phone. Web applications are applications that live on the web. All right. They live on, if you want to have access to it, you use your browser to have access to it, enter the URL to have access to the web app. Your Facebook that you use, your Facebook is the web app. Even the most of the applications that you use on your phones, part of them, most of them, as in the most part of them are hosted on the web. It's just the interface that is on your phone. The main application is actually hosted on that is sometimes you cannot have access to them without an internet. Any application on your phone that you cannot have access, you cannot use without the internet, is actually hosted somewhere on the web. All right. So a web app is a website that behaves like an application. It's like a software. It's more than a website. Is more than a website. It is an application that lives on the web. So Gmail, Twitter, these are web applications. They can save data, they can allow you to do login, they can perform tasks, they can handle complex features. Okay. So what are hyperlinks? You know, I told you that the web is a collection of websites. The web is a collection of web pages. So from one web page, you can go to another web page. You saw me click on history. You saw me click on video. You saw me click. Those are links. We'll talk about links when we start talking about HTML elements. So hyperlinks connect one web page to another. So I can go from Google to Facebook, from Facebook to Instagram. These are links. We call them hyperlinks that connect one web page to another web page. So look at this. Now we are on the Global Genius website. We're on the Global Genius website. And moreover, this 50,000 is actually on a promo price right now. It's actually on a promo price. So if you want to get this course, you have to buy it now. It's actually on a promo right now. So It will be ending very soon. So you better get on board. Now, if I click on home now, you look at it, I'm on a different web page. I'm on a different web page. Look at the URL. If I click on home now, it will take me to another web page. Do you understand? Look at it, it has taken me to another web page. All right. So from one web page, I can go to another web page. If I click on dashboard, it will take me to the dashboard web page. So I'm using hyperlinks. Don't worry, you're going to learn how to do all these things. So hyperlinks allow you to navigate to website, just like you have seen me navigate. All right. Move between pages, open downloads, visit external sites. All right. You already have excuse me. You already have experience visiting websites like this. Okay. So what is the difference between front end and back end? Just give me a second, okay? All right. So I just have to take water. So what's the difference between front end and back end? I know a lot of you know this for front end developer, back end developer. So what's the difference? Front end, if you're a front end developer, all right, which is what you're actually learning in these 52 weeks, okay? You're only learning front end. We are not teaching you, we are not doing back end. We want you to focus on front end and learn it and master it and be very good at it. So front end is the client side. So everything people see, the interface, what they are seeing, all right, that is front end. The client side, we have two sides. We have the client side, we have the server side. Okay, so back end is the server side, front end is the client side. So as a front end developer, you will be creating everything that the user will be seeing on their screen. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, this is front end. Buttons, forms, images. All right, these are these are the things you do as a front end developer. These are the things you create. Then the back end is the server side of it. Every application has the front end and the back end side of it, the client side and the server side of it. Everything that you don't see is the back end, is the server side. All those things that you don't see, okay? The databases, the APIs, the authentication, the business logic, all these things that you don't see. Okay, now let me show you what I mean by business logic. Okay, if you take a look at our website right now, if I go back to if I go back to browse for courses, let me show you something. Okay, now you can see that you can see this one is open, this one is locked. Do you understand? This is open and this is locked. All right. So this is the back end, the business logic. The reason why this one is open and this one is locked is that there is a business logic here. Okay, this data was fetched from the database. 0% paid for, 0 naira. You have not paid for this. You have zero chapter paid for. The business logic, the data that was fetched, all of them, these are back end. But everything that you're seeing on this screen right now is front end. The text, the buttons, the links, everything here is front end. Okay. So then what is an API? All right. As a front-end developer, you'll be consuming APIs. Back-end developers are the people who create APIs. So as a front-end developer, you will be consuming APIs. What is an API? An API is the full meaning is application programming interface. So it allows two systems to talk to each other. So a backend developer will create an API, then you as the front-end developer will now consume the API. So your system, the front end and the back end, they communicate using these APIs. So it is like contracts between two people. All right. The APIs, the backend will be providing services for you through the APIs. So Paystack, Flutterwave, these are payment APIs. What do? They provide payment services for us. So we can consume their payment APIs, banking APIs, the Mono, the Okra. They provide all these banks that you're using. they make use of these banking APIs. Now, let me tell you something. When you try to make transfer from a UBA app, you want to transfer to somebody who is using OP or Union Bank or Sterling Bank. The UBA app is making use of this banking application, and it is these banking APIs that will provide that when a UBA application try to when you put in your account number, the UBA application will search for the name. All right, the UBA application is using these bank APIs. It is these bank APIs that will provide your name. The UBA bank application will give it your account number. These banking APIs will now go and search for your name and all your details and give it to the bank UBA application. Don't bother if this sounds too much for you. You will learn as we go. They would unfold. Okay, weather data APIs and the rest. So let's ask ourselves, how does the web work? This web that we are talking about, this web we are talking about, I want you to drop in the comment section. Tell me, what have you learned so far? Do you enjoy this class? Tell me what you like so far about this class, and also tell me what you don't like, all right, so that we can make it better for you. Tell me what you like so far, what you have been enjoying so far, and also tell me what you don't like so far. And remember, if you're liking this video, please like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel for daily. I also post daily tutorials, all right, on web development and Python, all right. Share, invite your friends. If you're watching on Facebook, invite your friends, okay? Tag your friends tag your friends, let them come and take this class. All right. So the web is like a giant digital city. A giant digital city. Websites are like buildings. Remember, the web is where all the websites reside. So the web is the giant digital city. The websites are like buildings. And your browser is like a taxi that takes you there. Now, let me tell you something. The web is a digital city, and the city has houses, buildings, which are the websites, and these buildings have addresses. The websites have addresses. But if you want to go to these houses, if you want to navigate through the digital city, you have to use a browser. So the browser is like the taxi that takes you there. Without the browser, you cannot go to any website. And without the web, the website cannot exist. So that is why you will type in the URL of your website. If you want to go to any website at all, you will type the URL. Once you type the URL in the browser cannot take you to the website, to the building that you want to go to. So whenever you want to visit a website, your browser communicates with a server to fetch the content. So you will give your browser the URL, all right? Your browser will take that URL, go to the domain name system office. They will check and get the IP address. Then they will now route it to the website. All right. And this website is being hosted in a server. And this server is part of the web, the part of the internet. So this happens almost instantly, thanks to the rules and technologies that make the web work. As soon as you just type in the URL in the browser and hit enter, immediately it fetches the data for you, the content that you're looking for. So what are the key components? To understand how the web works, you need to know its main components. So let's take a look at the key components of the web. The first one is the browser. The app you use to access websites, the Chrome, your Firefox, your Safari. Without the browser, you cannot access websites. Okay? The next component of the server, of the web, is the server. The server is a special computer that stores websites and sends them to users. So your browser would make requests to the server, and the server will return respond to it. So the URL is the address of a web page. Then HTTP, HTTPS, these are the rules for how browsers and servers communicate. We'll talk more about HTTP later on. The rules for how browsers and servers communicate. All right, the HTTP provides the rules because these browsers and the server, they need to communicate. So they need to have a contract. They need to have a rule guiding their communication. The domain name is the human readable name of a website. That's the syntactic sugar of the IP address, which is the numeric address of a server or a computer. While the domain name system is the software, or they translate the domain name into their IP addresses. So whenever you type in the domain name of a website in your browser, the browser will first of all go to the domain name system and ask them for the IP address. Okay? So let's take a look at step by step how this works. First of all, what happens when you visit a website? When you type a URL, you enter a web address like http example.com in your browser and hit enter. The browser will ask the DNS for the IP address. So look at it. If I go now, if I take the IP address, so if I let me close everything. So if I type in https colon forward slash www.youtube.com. All right. If I type in this thing now, hit enter, what happens here? The browser will take the URL that I have typed in. All right. It will take it to the DNS, the domain name system. The domain name system will now check what is the IP address of youtube.com. It will get it and then it will give it to the browser. All right, the browser will take this IP address so that it will know. Remember that the browser is like your taxi man. It's like the taxi that will take you to to your home or to your hotel. All right. So the browser needs to know the address. So once we give it the domain name, it will take it to the domain name system, get the IP address from the domain name system, and then take it to the address. So the domain name system translates example.com into an IP address like 192.168 whatever. Just like YouTube, the DNS will translate youtube.com into an IP address. So once the browser gets the IP address, the browser will now send an HTTP request to the server, to the computer that has that IP address. Remember, the IP address is the address of a computer on the internet. So the browser will now send something we call HTTP request to the server. So let me show you something. Guys, this is becoming more practical. So if I go to if I right click on this, okay, and go to inspect, okay, I want to show you, let me show you something. Okay, so let me show you something. Now, I made a request to youtube.com. Let me go to network. You might not understand what I'm doing here, but it's fine, okay? Now, this is the request. You see, this is a resource that we made request to YouTube and they gave us this. So if I click on this and then now look at, this is a request. All right. This is a request, and it says the request URL. This is the request URL. This is the request method. All right. So this is the request we gave. I think I should get something better here. This is the response. Okay. So now this is the request. All right. So we made a request to the server, and the server gave us this thing in response. Okay. So that's the request. The browser asks the server for the web page using HTTP. And we'll talk about HTTP later on. Okay. So the request includes the page you want, the browser type, and other metadata. Okay. So if I go back to, okay, this is the request URL. There's something I'm looking for. Oh my God, I've forgotten how to get it. So we made 6 requests. Look at it. We made 6 requests here. Let me make a simple request. How? This. Oops, sorry about this. Okay, so this is the image. This is one of the images. So that's the request. This is that's the request. So it gave us the image. Okay. So There's something I'm looking for. There's something I'm looking for. This is just the header. I don't want the header. Just like we have the response here. Okay, so uh okay. So this is the request header. It contains it contains the user agent, the type of the browser. Don't worry, we'll come to that later on. The method and stuff like that. So the request contains the page you want, the browser type they are using, and other metadata. So now the server will process the request. So the browser would actually make the request, then the server will process the request and send response. So if the website is static, the server sends the page directly. If the website is dynamic, the server may fetch data from a database or run some code. Okay? So if the website is a static website, the server will just return the HTML page. But if the website is a dynamic website, the server needs to fetch some data from the database, run some code, the business logic, and then generate the page content. You're going to learn how to do all these things. But this thing I just talked about here is more of backend. All right, fetching data from database, running some PHP, Node.js code, generating page content is more of backend. Okay. So the step 5 is that once the server processes the request, then they will not send the browser the response. Now this thing happens like in seconds, very fast. So they will not send the response to the browser, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, even images and videos. So if I go back to my browser now, you can see now that this is the response, although it is encrypted. But if I go back, now this is the response. What you're seeing here is the response. These are the responses. So this is one of the response that YouTube gave us, and this is the image that you're seeing here. So this image was fetched from the server. All right. So this other one is also something, it's also another image. So you can see that these are the images we have here. These are the images. Look at it. These are the images we have here. Okay, so these are fetched from the server. This is how the server does it. So the browser made a request to youtube.com and we came back with some images, the HTML page. All right. So the browser, once the server gets a response to the browser will now render the page. That is why you're seeing that youtube.com, you're seeing the home page and the images that you're seeing there. So the browser will display the page exactly as intended. JavaScript will make the page to be more interactive. So the browser handles further interaction. So as you're clicking, now that we made this request to the server came back with the response. Then the browser now rendered what came back here. So now this is the web page. So if I go on to click on any of these videos, that is interaction. So if I click on this hat trick by Neymar or this video by Shade Poppy, it will play. So this, you see, as I'm moving around this thing, this is the reaction. All right, this is the reaction that we are having here. Okay, so all these things are made possible by JavaScript. Clicking links, filling forms, playing videos, these are further interaction by the browser and JavaScript. So this entire process takes milliseconds and they happen very, very fast on the web page. So let's have a simplified analogy. The browser is like the taxi. So if you want to go to google.com, let's assume that google.com is your hotel room. So you want to go to google.com, you will get a taxi, you will get a browser. All right. So you will give the browser the address, which is google.com. That's the domain name. You give it to the browser. The browser, you give the URL, which is the address of your destination. All right. Then the browser will take that your domain name, the URL, take it to DNS, get the IP address. So the DNS is like the GPS that finds the exact location. It is the GPS that gives us the address. Then the server is like your hotel or your house where your web pages live. So the browser will now make a request to the server. All right. Then using HTTP. HTTP is the language you and your server speak. So HTTP is the language that you and the taxis man speaks. If you speak English and the taxi man does not speak English, there will be no communication. So the only language that the browser and the server understand is HTTP or HTTPS. Okay. So the web page is your room that you want to enter, whether your house or your hotel room. So this is a simplified analogy of it. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these are the furniture, the decoration, the electricity that makes the room usable. Okay, so I hope you understand this. If you're understanding so far, please type in the comment section that, yes, I understand. Type in, I want everybody to type in, the browser is my taxi. The browser is like the taxi taking me to my hotel room. Everybody should type in the comment section, the browser is the taxi taking me to my hotel room or my house. All right. Okay, so let's talk about HTTP. All right. HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP is the rule or the protocol that both the browser and the server must observe. These are the rules. HTTP is the rule that both the browser and the server, they must understand it and they must follow these rules. If they don't follow these rules, nothing will work. All right, they cannot communicate. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is the protocol that both the server and the browser must follow. This is the protocol that both of them must follow. So it is a set of rules that the browser and servers use to communicate with each other on the web. None of them, whether the browser or the server, should violate this rule. If you violate any of the rules, there will be no communication. So think of HTTP as the language that browsers speak to web servers to get web pages. So the browser speak HTTP that's the language. The server does not understand any other thing apart from HTTP as a language. The browser speaks HTTP to the web servers to get whatever they want to get from the servers. So how does HTTP work? Whenever you visit a website, you always type in a URL and it always starts with HTTP or HTTPS. All right. So we'll talk about the difference between HTTP and HTTPS, but they're almost the same thing. All right. The browser will send an HTTP request to the server. The server processes the request and sends an HTTP response back. So look at it. The browser will send HTTP request to the server. The server will send HTTP response back. So both of them speak HTTP as a language. Both of them, that is the only thing they understand. Okay. The browser renders the page so you can see it. Okay. This all happens in milliseconds, just like you already know. So HTTP request is sent by your browser to the server. It contains the request line, the headers, and the bodies. Okay, so it contains the request line. It contains the request line, like the method. Do I want to get or save or post? But don't worry, we're not going to go. We'll talk about that later on. Okay, where it contains headers, it contains bodies. We'll talk more about this later on. Okay. So these are the common methods, HTTP methods that we have. We have the get, we have the post, we have the put, we have the delete, we have the head and the options. Now, if I go on to explain some of these things, you might not understand them, but just have in mind that we have this thing. So in one of our classes, in one of the weekends, all right, one of the classes, we are just going to treat HTTP and we'll break down HTTP for you to understand, okay? So we have something we call HTTP response. Whatever the server gives to the HTTP request. Now, I want you to answer this question in the comment section. Who makes the HTTP request? Is it the browser or the server? I want you to type your answer in the comment section. Is it the server or the browser that makes HTTP request? That is the first question. Type in your answer in the comment section. Another question is, who makes the HTTP response? Is it the server or the browser that makes HTTP response? Okay, type in your answer in the comment section. So the server's reply is called HTTP response. It is the browser that makes HTTP request. The browser will request a website or a web page from the server. Then the server will now respond with HTTP response. It contains the status line, the headers, and the body. Just like I said, we are going to talk more about this HTTP in a separate class, okay? Now, we have something we call HTTP status codes, all right? We'll talk more about these things, all right? So what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? HTTP is not secured. Whenever somebody sent you a link and that link does not contain HTTPS, don't follow that link. It is not secure. Hackers will finish you. Do you understand? HTTP is not secured. HTTPS is secure. So HTTP means HTTP, it has SSL or TLS encryption to protect data from hackers. So the S part of the HTTP is just the secure. It is more secure. It is more secure. Secure socket secure. This SSL, I've forgotten the full meaning is socket secure layer or secure socket layer. Somehow in the middle, I might be misplacing it, but it is for protection. All right. Do not follow any URL that does not have HTTP. It is not secure. So websites with HTTPS show a padlock in the browser. So if I go to the browser now, you will see that this youtube.com is HTTP. Look at it. It is HTTP. And they always show a padlock. They always show a padlock showing you that it is secure. So HTTPS, this YouTube is secure. So make sure you don't follow any URL that is not secure. All right. So stateless protocol, we'll talk more about HTTP being stateless. So if I go further, I don't think you might understand this, but the thing is this. A HTTP is said to be stateless because whenever the browser makes a request to the server, all right, after that request, the communication, after the request, then the server sends the response. The communication ends. That connection to the server will end. So the server does not remember previous requests unless cookies or sessions are used. That is why we use cookies and sessions to remember. Now, once your browser makes a request to the server and the server gives it the response, the communication, the connection will end. That is how HTTP is built. So when you log in, your server sends cookie. The next request use the cookie to remember you. You can see that I'm actually stuttering right now because I don't think you will understand what I just said now. And I don't like saying things that will confuse you. But as we go on, most especially when we have a class on this HTTP, we are going to understand more what we mean by cookies and sessions, okay? We have something we call the HTTP headers. All right, let me show you a little bit of the HTTP headers, what it look like. If I go back and inspect and go to the network, you will see, okay, let me refresh. Okay, so now if I click on this youtube.com here, okay, and then you will see this is the request, and this is the request header. Okay, this is the request header. For some reasons, it's because it is, oops. Okay, so let me refresh. Okay, so if I click on you, they are all redirected. Let me not use the one that is redirected. Let me use the one that has 201. So all these things you're seeing here is status code. And you can see, because this is 302, I know that it has to do with redirection. But don't worry, you are going to learn more about that. So let me go for anyone that has 200. So, but this is, okay, it's because of, now, if I go on and look at the request header, so you can see this is the request header. It has some information right here. All right. Look at the cookie. You can see it has cookie. It has the path. It has the skin, which is HTTPS. This is just the all right. It has some things here. The user. This is the user agent. Is just the browser that. Okay. So these are some of the. Don't worry. We'll talk more about this. Okay. It has asset, user agent, cookie. We also have the response header. So, but we'll talk more about this later on. So, when you type https://example.com, the browser would send a GET request to the server. If the server gets, if the resource that you're requesting for is available, the server returns 200 the status code of 200, which means okay. That means everything went well. The browser will render the page. You click a form, the browser sends post requests with data. All these things things you're going to learn more. Okay, so why is HTTP important? It is a standardized way to transfer data between the browser and the server. It is a standardized way. It is a standard rule that both the server and the browser should follow. It makes website accessible and interactive. It enables APIs and web applications to work together. It forms the backbone of the World Wide Web. The HTTP is the backbone of the World Wide Web because it is the standard language, the standard way of transferring data between the browser and the servers, or transferring data between two devices. So in summary, HTTP is the rules for browsers and servers to communicate. Request is the browser, request means the browser is asking something from the server. The server sends it back, whatever they get. All right, it sends the request, the response back. We have HTTP methods like the get, the post, the put, delete. We have status codes. We have the HTTP is stateless because each request is independent. Once the browser makes a request and the server responds, the connection will end. So HTTPS is just a secure version of HTTP. Okay. So thank you very much. I know it has been a very long class. Okay. Thank you very much for taking this class. Make sure you like, if at all you like this class, make sure you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share with your friends. Now, the thing is this. I'm giving you this class for free of charge. You're not paying for it. And I'm giving you all my all. I pour my heart in these classes. So, but I want you to do something for me. I want you to share this video, share this class, share this link. All right. So that if I don't get up to 1,000 comments, if I don't get up to 1,000 comments, I will not drop the week 2. I will not drop the next class. If I don't get up to 1,000 views, that means you guys are not sharing it. Share it with your friends. Share it everywhere on your status. Tell people that they can learn web development for free of charge, front-end development for free of charge every weekend. All right? Every weekend. And again, these classes are self-paced. Even if you miss a weekend, if you miss it on a Saturday, you can take it the next Monday, the next Sunday. You can take it at any time. But I have promised you that I'm going to give you 52 classes. Each class, I'll be teaching you something special about front-end development. And at the end of these 52 classes, you're going to be very good as a front-end developer. So share this. Tell your friends. If you don't have a laptop, I cannot drop in the comment section that you don't have a laptop. All right. Tell me in the comment section that you're using a phone, and I will tell you I will direct you on one of my videos on how to use your phone to get started with web development. Okay. Share this. If I don't get up to 1,000 comments and 1,000 views, 1,000 likes, I'm not going to drop the next class. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next class.